So, Hallöchen, 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 Hallöchen. Einen wunderschönen
Moin moin.
Moinsen, Carsten. Kacke, jetzt hört man mich. Hab's wieder eingeschalten. Entschuldigung. Na, Carsten, alles fit bei dir?
Ja, und selber?
Oh, gewisse Alter, weiß schon, 22 tut man sich richtig hart.
Ich werde 50.
Ah, das ist noch jung. Krass, das ist noch jung. Carsten Nummer 2. Grüße an dich. Oh, ich bin schon richtig gespannt hier.
Ja, das mit der Tour wird schön einfach, ne? Einer annehmen, andere hinterher folgen. Jubiu.
Oh, ich bin noch gespannt. Dauert aber erst. Wir schauen erst noch die Farmcon an.
Jojo.
Oh, bin ja gespannt, wie da die Sounds sind. Marian, auch dir einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Christoph, grüß dich. Käffchen ist auch schon am Start. Oh.
Aber gesagt, wir fahren das Ding eigentlich jedes Wochenende bei unserem in Real Life Trucker. Der zockt ja dann am Wochenende. Da fahren wir die Dinger stundenlang. Das ist so easy mit dem Annehmen.
Ja, das glaube ich, das ist glaube ich. Ah, Artimaus, dankeschön, mein Guter. Schön übend. Boah, noch 2 Minuten, Jungs, dann geht's los. Ich bin jetzt nicht mal so gekommen zum Rauchen. Ich bin gerade erst rein. Zack, hast du gesehen? Oh nein, warum gucken wir los? Komm vor, Chris. Komm vor. Oh. Muss ich gucken, dass man das ein bisschen verschiebt. Ich fände es wahrscheinlich nicht schlecht, aber es kostet halt wieder Geld, ne, für die Bergisch. Christian. Grüße. Mahlzeit. Oh, ich sag's euch. Ich bin ja gespannt heute. Ich bin auf den Sound gespannt. Wird bestimmt sehr interessant. Thorsten, Grüße. Noch eine Minute. Noch eine Minute. Aber so was wir gestern ja schon hören können vom Johnny. Das war schon Bombe. Muss ich echt sagen. So, Dronäffchen, grüß dich. Einen wunderschönen guten Abend, ihr Lieben. Schön, dass ich euch alle begrüßen darf. Solingerchen, Dankeschön fürs Hosten. Oh. Stefan, oh, Dankeschön, also soweit gut, ein bisschen gestresst, aber es geht, passt schon, könnte schlimmer sein. Ich hoffe, bei dir ist auch alles okay. Wernerchen ist auch live, ich weiß, Christoph, ich weiß. Wir sind alle live. Oh, jetzt geht's los, ihr Lieben.
Welcome to day 3 of Farmcon21.
Ich mach mal ein bisschen
Today,
lauter.
we have a jam-packed schedule and we'll show you more about Farming Simulator 22's build mode, new crops and sound updates before warming up for the Farming Simulator League tournament at the weekend with a real-life bale stacking challenge organized by our partners from the Stark magazine. We also went through the many questions you sent us after the show yesterday evening and will answer the most common of them later today. In the meantime, you can also chat with us on our Discord channel, and just like the days before, stick around after the show as we will have some Giants folks enter the server to chat.
Ganz lieben, danke lieben.
If you watch this on Twitch, you can take part in raffles throughout the show. Keep an eye on the Twitch chat to win keys for Farming Simulator 22 on PC, which winners will be able to redeem from the Giants eShop via our website on launch day, November 22nd.
Wo ich jetzt ein bisschen enttäuscht war, ihr Lieben.
For a dedicated
Das war von dieser
FS19 server
Rundumleuchte.
hosted and sponsored by Nitrado. So let's talk about Farming Simulator
Da
22.
muss ich mal gucken mit den Gebäuden.
The first new
Ich werde es mal
feature we
vorschlagen
want to show you
in der nächsten
today
Aufnahme.
is the build mode. Already featured in previous Farming Simulator games, we have made
Ganz lieben Dank fürs
improvements
Hosten.
which make it
Und Hosten
easier for
auch.
players to create their own unique farm layout. In Farming Simulator 22, we have made it even more accessible for everyone, and my colleague Jos will now tell you all about it.
Hi, it's me again, Jos, gameplay developer at Giant Software.
Oh.
I'm here to introduce you
Ganz
to the
gewaltig,
build
Otti.
mode in Farming Simulator 22. The build mode combines the landscaping and the placement of buildings into one big screen. This allowed us to change the
das schaut
usability,
aber cool aus.
make it much easier to work with both, and to add new features to the game. When creating the build mode, we wanted to focus on the player feedback we got from the previous game. Biggest issue were the input controls. They were too complicated and it was too hard to do what you wanted to do in the game. So we revamped all the controls and changed how landscaping works with new tools. We wanted to allow players to use their creativity to make the yards the way they want with new content. That's why we added hundreds of new placeables. I talked about creativity, but before I talk about buildings, I'm gonna move over because it's too hot here. Much better. Let's talk about hulls. Rudolf Herrmann has provided us with many new hulls of different sizes and functionalities. Some come with solar panels and others with vehicle service points. And they even have different colors. We also have many new storage buildings from Meridian, Unia, and I hope I pronounce this correctly, Noiedo. They give storage for seeds, fertilizer, crops, and fuel. For the first time ever, we also have branded BGAs from Plan ET. Every map comes with a big static BGA, but you can also build your own using the modular parts. We also have many new animal pens. Some come with buildings from Rudolf Herrmann, and some are just a pen. They come in many different sizes and are much easier to place than before. Let's talk about fences. We've added something completely new to the game, placeable fences. They're unlike any other building. You start by placing a pole and just pulling it away, and it will create any fence on any hill. We have added 10 different fences and we have gates. This way you can control
endlich mal
who
vernünftige
enters and
Zäune
does not
bauen.
enter your yard. I hope you like the new flexibility. We've also
Nicht
added
immer dieses kleine
beehives,
Gefrickele.
solar panels and generators that can
Das ist
create a
schon
bit
cool.
of income for you. And of course, you can also find the new production chains in the build mode. Let's talk about something else, the big usability changes we made. The biggest changes in the build mode are the inputs, with the controls, the buttons and the keys. We have removed many of them and simplified the way you put down buildings. We made the input much more intuitive by removing many keys so you don't have to remind them all. Every input is context sensitive, so you're not able to rotate buildings that cannot be rotated or rotate fences that rotate themselves. We also made big changes to the sculpting. We added new tools to flatten your terrain and add slopes you control, and on the engine side we made it much easier to control adding and removing ground so that it is easier to make a yard that looks good. Finally, let's talk about modding. We've made big changes in the system that allows for composition of all these features together in one building or in separate buildings. You will be able to make a shed that is a service point and has animals, or has a manure heap and service point. I hope you're excited about this new build mode as I am, and I look forward to seeing the mods you will make and the yards you will build.
Also wenn man das in Geländebaumodus zurücksetzen kann, ist das cool.
We're back here. I'm Ken, the QA lead over at Giant Software. Joining me again is Stefan.
Yeah.
Jos has talked a little bit about the nice things this new build mode can do, and we thought, why not show you a little bit of these new features? So the build mode as a whole is like this complete new interface, as you can already see.
Yeah.
So we have, I mean, we have the minimap in there. We have different tabs in there. Maybe we want to go over a few of them.
Yeah. So first you have an overview
Ich war ein
of
bisschen
the
spät dran, ich
buildings.
bin erst
So you
gekommen.
have different categories here. So the first is buildings. So you have the sheds, silos, and all that stuff here. Then you have production, so everything for the production chains.
All of
Mario
your
explained.
factories, your placeable selling stations, of course, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then
machen
you
wir.
have
Da
the
kommt's
animals,
jetzt, ne?
so all the pens, von Rudolf Herrmann. Here,
Then the next step would be decorations.
Yeah, Jos talked a little about it in the video. The new fences we can see here, like there's this whole like dynamic system behind it that makes it super easy for us as a player, of course, to place these fences. But there was a lot of work that went into there.
Yeah.
That was one of Jos's personal
Also auf der
projects.
Seite finde ich das ja jetzt so nicht schlecht. Auf
But
der
yeah,
anderen
we've
Seite
seen
war
it
das alte
earlier.
Menü
We had
schöner.
our
Es mehr
this is
Platz
the
gehabt zum Singen.
area
Das stimmt.
where we have our cow husbandry placed already. And
Yeah.
if you're a player and say, okay, I have my stuff placed and everything, but I want to decorate a little bit or
Absolut.
fence in the area,
Absolut.
that is now easier than ever with this new fence system.
Yeah, so I already placed here some fences
Boah, das ist
to
cool.
have it a bit
Und ich liebe jetzt hier
separated,
mal alle Spender. Echt,
and also
wirklich.
this hedge here.
And
But yeah,
gates as well.
Gates
There's
as
also,
well,
there's-
yeah.
It's not only fences, but you can
Yeah.
place gates, of
Exactly.
course, that are interactive.
yeah, so you can open them and close them, and yeah, just place here a fence. So you can just click with the mouse, have multiple points, and then if you click on the right mouse button, you finish the fence. So now we would have placed
Beautiful,
it.
Stefan.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. But that's the nice thing. You can like build to whatever your heart's content, basically.
So I'm a really creative guy, you see. But if you don't like it, you can also remove it.
Yeah.
Sehe ich
So
auch so.
we
We have
got
our
here that
demolish
function,
button.
and then you can
man kann
easily
das
remove
zurücknehmen.
everything.
If you misclicked something, it's
Yeah.
just
Das ist cool.
easy click to get something back, and then you're
Exactly.
back where you started at, basically.
And you can also just remove buildings. So if you click here, I don't want to remove it because it looks really nice, but it's also marked red. So if you click on it, it will just sell the building. So it's way more easy to sell the correct building.
Yeah, if you want to get rid of a silo or
Yeah.
a shed, or if you want to, like, let's say if you starting out your game and you only have a small shed because you don't have enough money in the beginning,
Yeah.
and now you've made money, of course, then the question is, what am I going to do? But you can easily just remove, and if you remove buildings, you get part of that money back as well, of course, and then
Exactly.
just build the next shed level, basically, if you would like it.
Yeah, so you can just here, for example, nice Hermann bed. But yeah, maybe you don't like it here at that position. You can just
Click on the demolish
Ja, die sieht
button
doch aus.
and
just
sell it,
sell it.
Würde
basically.
mich mal interessieren, wenn die
Ja.
Minimap ein bisschen größer wird.
And oh, look at that! This is like a perfect example. You build something,
dich.
you've
Gut
poured
soweit.
the
Oh, erst
concrete.
gekommen, bisschen zu
The
schnell
shed is
eingeschalten.
gone.
Aber noch
Ah,
geschafft.
what are we gonna
Grüße.
do now,
So,
Stefan?
yeah, maybe
selbst alles
we
okay.
just seed some grass there. So it's also the great thing about the new construction screen is that we got everything in place.
Yeah.
So you don't need to change the screen to just go to the painting or
Yeah.
to the sculpting mode.
We've had the landscaping feature
Vergiss es,
before
Arti.
in FS19, but now it's
Ah, das ist schön für
basically
dich.
directly placed within the build mode menu, just
Yeah.
because it makes sense to have it there. Of course.
Yeah, so we can just here put some grass there. Then we got
Yeah.
rid of the concrete.
And
And we can also just put some grass here.
Exactly. Paint some grass there. The prices are not final, of course.
Yeah.
These are for demonstration purposes. We can also use. We have trees now as well in the game. So
Yeah. So
if you want to like plant some of these, that's possible.
so
do.
just decorate it here a bit more so that it looks more beautiful.
Ja, König, das ist
there's also the power line.
Yeah.
That's maybe not the best
Maybe
way
not.
to place them.
That's a safety hazard. That's how I see it.
But you can also just paint plants. So small bushes or grass. Yeah.
Yeah, and as always, if you have any questions regarding the build mode, there's going to be a Q&A always after our presentation, so you'll be able to get those in then. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else we want to show regarding the build mode?
Also ich gehe davon
I
aus, dass
remember,
es so
for
ist wie
example,
gestern.
that Now, when you
Wobei, wir werden
when you
nicht
press
alles anschauen.
escape,
Also das
basically
live
to
in
go
allen
back
Stapeln werde ich nicht
to
mit
your
anschauen.
character, something that
Also
was
nach
very
dem Sound-Update,
important,
wenn danach nichts mehr kommt,
for
werde
us, because we
ich
noticed it while
umschalten auf
testing,
ETS fahren.
is that wherever you're
Ich schätze
currently
mal
in the world,
21:30
that's where the
ungefähr.
build mode should pop up.
Yeah.
And also, so you kind of know that's
Aber
why the
könnte auch früher
mini-map
sein.
is in there actually, so you know that
Aber schaut
even
gar
while
nicht so
moving
schlecht aus.
around in this build map menu with this new camera view, you're going to be
Ja, das
somewhere
finde ich auch.
completely
Das sieht optisch
different,
schon
but
sehr,
to
sehr
find your
genial
way
aus.
back
Ja,
to where you
absolut.
are and everything, to
Absolut, sehr
keep an
ansprechend.
overview of how
1,41,
where you are in
ja.
the world. That's why all of this stuff is
In
there.
der ganz
so it was
normalen Version, also es gibt
important
da
for us
keine
to have
Bilder mehr.
the player not being ripped
ganz
out of the
reguläre.
whole immersion of where was I currently? Where's my farm? Looking around, not being able to find their way. So that's a reason, for example, why the map is there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can also see the coordinates
Gut,
here
Leutchen,
Yeah,
aus der Zeit
nicely on the
alles
map.
gut.
So yeah, what else
Ja,
can
klar
we
kann
show?
man mitfahren.
We also
Überhaupt
have
kein
the
Thema nicht.
sculpting here.
Yeah.
So we
jetzt
can
kommt was
also
Wichtiges.
change the terrain here.
Yeah, just like before, you can use your mouse or
Yeah.
also with a gamepad to basically use it as a brush
Yeah.
and create the terrain and shape the world as you see fit,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, so the controls are really easy here. So if you just sculpt it here a bit, you can just click with the mouse on painting and then paint it like you want. So it's really a lot more easier than before.
Intuitive. It's all in one
Yeah.
place and it makes switching.
Exactly.
It's much easier now to spend hours in this one
Yeah.
menu and
Yeah.
change the map as
Yeah.
you want to.
Wobei das Menü
Alright,
eigentlich
I think
sowas hat.
I think
man
that's
sieht
all
wenigstens,
we
auf
want to
welcher
show for now.
Region
Ja.
der Karte man
And
baut. Freiheit
yeah,
Federico. Danke,
as we
Dotti.
said before, any questions can be answered now shortly in our Q&A. And we'll see what's next on the
Gut.
program then.
Ist überhaupt kein
Thank you
Thema
again,
nicht. Wir
Stefan,
fahren immer
for being
zusammen
here.
mit der Community.
And
Jeden Freitag.
I have another appointment, so I'm gonna be heading out, making my way already, and gonna say
Gott sei
goodbye.
Bye.
Gut, dass der Herr Milky noch nicht da ist.
Talk about building up excitement. Our next topic to discuss are the new crops in Farming Simulator 22. Crops are always an exciting addition because not only do they often also come with new vehicles and tools, some of them
Bisschen schade
are
ist
also
schon.
very specific to certain regions in the world. As a kid, I've seen a lot of combine harvesters around the village I grew up at, but not a single grape harvester. I'm sure for some of you, they are very common sight. And now you will also get to play with them in Farming Simulator 22. We have asked Kenny
Keine
to tell you more
Kartoffeln
about grapes, olives, and sorghum. I can't find him at the office though. Do you know where Kenny is? Should I call him? Sorry, take over. Kenny.
New crops in Farming Simulator 22. Sorghum, grapes, and olives. But what makes these new crops so special? Hi, I'm Ken Burgess, the QA lead over at Giant Software, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the new crop types coming to Farming Simulator 22 and how we brought them into the game. We have 3 distinct new crop types for Farming Simulator 22. Sorghum, which is a new grain type, and of course, grapes and olives. These grapes and
Gucken, was wir
olive
für Auflösung
vines
haben.
can be then placed with our new build mode
1080
into the
passt.
game. So you'll be able to place them in these beautiful rows and then use new machinery and equipment to take care of them and harvest them.
3 plus die
We
Erdbeeren, eigentlich
chose
4, ne?
these 3 different crop types specifically because, first of all, sorghum is very popular among our
Das schaut zu
US-based
cool aus.
players and very big in general in American agriculture. And
Die
grapes and
3D-Texturen
olives, on
hinten.
the other hand, they bring something completely new to the game in the way that they're handled and harvested. It's just
Mein
something
Job.
that
Ich sehe
we're
meinen
not
Job
used
schon vor
to
mir.
in previous parts of the Farming Simulator series entries. Also, they tie in very great with our new production chain system. Bringing new crop types into a game is always a real challenge,
wenn man die
especially with
Soundgeräusche mal
something
raushört.
such complex like grapes and olives. We had to think about how are we going to implement these vines and a system behind it. New crop types means new gameplay experiences, new kind of scripts we have to come up with, and
Oh je.
also
Ich sehe schon wieder
especially
dieses
the whole
Palettenback.
vine system was we had to think about how are we
Das spielt
going
keine
to
Rolle. Guck mal, da klitscht die
enable the
Paletten
player
durch.
to place them
Ja,
in the
eben.
game. And this was actually a very big inspiration behind the whole build mode as we currently have it in FS22, where you're able to place buildings, place vines, and more. Grapes and olives, the whole handling process, the harvesting, and the machinery used, it's all a very new, exciting gameplay aspect of Farming Simulator 22. Our vines in game have their own collision, so you will have to drive to them with a harvester and manually navigate it across
Welche
these
genau
vines.
dazu kommen, sind noch nicht ganz raus. Also gestern sind ein paar geleakt worden, wie Rudolf und sowas, dass die dabei sind, ein paar Gewichte, Continental als Reifenhersteller.
And you can use specialized sprayers that drive along these vines to protect
und auch viele andere, aber welche genau ist noch nicht rausgekommen, aber es kommt noch.
The width between these vines is about 1 meter to 1,50 meter, and you will be using specialized cultivators that dig along this area. That just helps generally to loosen up the soil so these plants get more water and can grow better. For grapes in particular, if you want them to grow back again, once you've done harvesting your first batch, you will have to cut back these leaves right here. And then in the next year, since you don't have to like place the vines again or anything, they will just grow back naturally afterwards.
Das ist schon cool.
You might be asking, what can you do with all these new crop types? Well, let's start with olives, for example. Olives you can use to either sell them directly at like a supermarket or a similar one of our new selling stations, or you can bring it to an oil mill if it belongs to you and process it further into olive oil. Then of course we have our grapes. Grapes can be either refined to grape juice, which is perfectly suitable for all ages, or you can further process them into raisins and then bring them to the cereal factory, for example. That will then continue producing them.
Ich weiß nicht, ob ihr das jetzt rausgehört habt, ja. Aber es ist auch da, wie der aufgekippt hat.
Sorghum is mostly handled similar to other grain types in the game, so you can sell it at different selling stations. You can use it to feed your animals, such as horses and pigs, or you can use it to bring it to the flour mill, which then in turn can be redistributed to the bakery, for example, to produce bread or cake, which then can be sold for much more gains. So to implement these new vines and also the machinery, we worked very closely with New Holland. That both helped us out tremendously with references for the new machines. They also played a very important advisory role in getting these vines and their design just right, so we can present it to you in a very good way in the final game. Of course, modding is a very important aspect for all of us here at Giants and also the Farming Simulator community as a whole. So when we set up this new system of vines and how they're placeable and how they all work in the game, we always kept modders in mind. So once the game launches, if you have an idea for a similar fruit that behaves in like a similar way, you can of course use this new system to get that new content into the game easily as well. As you might know, we now have seasons implemented directly into the game. So for the first time ever in Farming Simulator 22, you will have this kind of seasonal growth calendar. And you will always have to be on the watch on when to plant and when to harvest your fruits, such as grapes, olives, sorghum, and of course all other crops in the game. This is optional, of course, you can turn it off, but if you play with it turned on, always be sure to keep an eye on your grapes.
So, grapes, olives, or sorghum? What are you most looking forward to? You will be able to harvest these new crops in Farming Simulator 22, launching worldwide on November 22nd this year. Digital and retail box pre-orders are possible now, and if you do, you will also get the amazing class Saddle Track pack as a pre-order bonus.
Was ich so geil feiert, ist, dass der den Glasanzug anhat. Vorbildlich.
Ja.
Und was ich noch cool finde, ist, dass wenn neue Spieler die LS dann kennenlernen, dass die so vorgefertigte Packs zum Starten schon haben. Wenn sie irgendwo sind, Lift bitte, komm doch runter, wir sind doch unten. Komm doch einfach rein. Hallo Tösschen.
It is important to get your feedback. Our Farming Simulator ambassadors help us to gather opinions.
So, ich muss das jetzt bloß irgendwie so machen, dass ich euch nicht doppelt höre.
Get in touch with our community team if you want to know who is the ambassador in your region, or maybe you even want to become a part of the network. Let me introduce you to one of them.
Also bis jetzt ist wirklich schön.
82 Square Studio from Spain.
Yo, hello everybody. I would say welcome back to the channel, but not this time. Welcome to almost the Farmcon21. And I would like to take these seconds, these small, this short period that Giant gave us to thank you.
Aber ich hab's
But to
vorhin
thank you
geschrieben.
all, to thank the community, to thank
Immer wenn es
Giants.
heißt einfacher, besser,
Because
schneller,
it's been,
dann hast du zum
it's
Schluss
been
so
a
ein
rough year.
Radialmenü und das war,
And in
finde ich,
this rough year,
gescheit.
for example, us, we were nowhere.
Das stimmt
We
schon
were
irgendwie.
nothing 1 year ago. And today, here we are, as an ambassador and as part of an amazing community. Thanks to Giants Software, thanks to Farming Simulator, and thanks to the community that make this game big and this game an amazing entertainment for our daily basis. So, from here, 82 Square Studio, be nice, play nice, and enjoy the Farmcon21. See you guys. Bye.
So, a year ago at Farmcon 20, Stefan Geiger already showed you something we have been working on for Farming Simulator 22. Sound improvements.
Oh, jetzt
Back
bin ich
then,
gespannt. Jetzt wird's
we had
interessant.
to stay a bit technical because we didn't want to give away
Yep.
too much from Farming Simulator 22 yet, but now is the time to show you some examples. Christian, can you show us something?
Sure, we can show you something. Hello, my name is Chris
schaut aus wie der
Capani.
Uli.
I'm the sound designer here at Giant Software. What am I currently working on? Well, first of all, we're working on the new engine vehicle sounds using our custom engine synthesis tool. So what does the new vehicle audio system actually mean? Well, first of all, the system is completely new for Farming Simulator 22. The audio department has collaborated with the programming team here at Giants to create a bespoke software tool that allows us to apply dynamic audio processing to vehicle engine recordings. This results in vehicle sounds that transform in real time to the in-game environment. So whether you're driving on a flat surface, or you're driving uphill, or you're carrying a trailer that weighs a ton, you're going to hear many changes in the vehicle engine sound to reflect these various situations. The first addition to the new engine sounds is that the vehicle engine recordings and the vehicle exhaust recordings are now processed independently. This means that there's a much more realistic bass response as the RPM level increases. The vehicles now have a much more accurate sonic representation of weight and size. The main new feature of the
Viel
engine
Spaß.
audio system is the implementation of dynamic load
Wird nicht mehr so
processing,
einfach.
which simulates the sound of an engine that has various resistances and loads applied to it. The first step in creating a realistic engine sound was to analyze the sounds of tractors that we have personally recorded. We compared the sound of the exhaust in two different states, offload and onload. Where offload is when the vehicle is stationary and the engine has no major resistance, and onload where the engine has a large amount of resistance, such as whilst pulling a cultivator to cultivate a field. By analysing these two exhaust recordings, we could then isolate the difference in frequency content, or in simple terms, we could take the exact frequencies that make a normal engine sound like an engine under load. Once we had these specific frequencies, we sent the values to our programmer who created an EQ profile within our engine tool. This EQ profile is essentially just an audio process that changes the frequency spectrum of a sound. So, by applying the EQ profile to a normal
Antwort ich
exhaust
gleich.
recording, we can simulate an exhaust under a large load. But to make the engine load sound more dynamic, within the tool we have defined how much of the EQ profile
Und das
or
mit
how
den Mods
little
runterladen, das
that can be
funktioniert,
used, depending on the load of the
wenn die Mods
vehicle
aus dem Mod-Hub
within
sind
game.
von Giants.
At
Dann
higher
drückst du einen
loads,
Knopf und dann
whilst
kannst du die
going
Mods
up a
automatisch
steep hill, for
runterladen.
example, we use the maximum EQ profile,
Runter
whereas
bist du aus
with
dem
no
Fenster.
vehicle load,
Boah, ich weiß.
no EQ is applied. The load points in between these min and max values are tuned to ensure that the engine sound has sensitivity towards varying loads. During the analysis of tractor engines, we also noticed other sonic changes that can occur when load is applied, one of which is volume oscillation. Especially when operating at higher RPMs and under a high load, the volume of an exhaust quickly moves up and down, giving it a spluttering effect that sounds really cool. This is also simulated within the new audio tool via a low-frequency oscillator that is synced to the RPM of the engine. Finally, we have added some distortion that is directly linked to the load parameters. This adds some nice sounding aggression to the vehicle. Hopefully you can see how the vehicles in Farming Simulator 22 will have a lot of character and life in their sound design. Let's take a listen to some examples in-game. Driving on a flat surface, we can hear the initial load of the engine because it has to use a lot of power to propel the vehicle forward. However, at maximum velocity and with the increased forward momentum, the engine has less resistance, so you hear very little load sound and much more of the transmission sound. As we drive over uneven terrain, we can hear the tone of the engine constantly shift as it adapts to the various changes in load. When using a vehicle in a high load situation, the audio processing will have a much more dramatic effect on the engine sound. The application of maximum load EQ, bass enhancement and distortion all contribute to a more strained and aggressive engine tone. And furthermore, we also have some other sound improvements related to the vehicles in Farming Simulator 22. We have implemented a number of details related specifically to the indoor vehicle perspective, making this perspective much more immersive. Windscreen wiper sounds have been implemented into the new system with accurate spatial information. So, if you are using the indoor vehicle perspective and the vehicle has wipers on the front, side and back of the cabin, you will actually hear the sounds coming from those exact locations. For all vehicles that have manual transmission, we have also added Gearshift sounds.
Vom Sound her geil.
Ja. So habe ich es eigentlich im 19er versprochen gehabt.
For vintage vehicles, we have also added custom filtering and volume adjustments for the audio within the cabin to simulate old cabin technology. Compared with modern vehicles that are featured in the game, the sound within the cabin of a vintage vehicle is less filtered and brighter. To summarize, we've developed a completely new audio engine tool which gives the vehicles a real sense of personality and dynamism. We have a new animation system whereby we can accurately synchronize sounds with the unique animations of the attachments. Finally, we've added some indoor vehicle perspective details such as windscreen wiper, seat suspension and gear change sounds. When we consider that each of these individual elements will be in a constant state of change, all whilst working together in unison, we can say with confidence that the vehicle sound design for Farming Simulator 22 is the most ambitious and realistic in the series so far.
Thank you, Christian. That was already super interesting, but Niels has even more to show us.
Hi, I'm Nels, one of the audio dudes here at Giant Software. At the moment, I'm mainly working on the sounds for the attachments, meaning the animation sounds for machinery such as grubbers, sowers, trailers, and so on. Today, I'm pleased to be able to show you a little of the new audio attachment system and the options it offers us. In the real world, dumping, retracting, or tilting a trailer creates a huge range of different sounds, such as when a trailer's tailgate opens, or various hydraulic sounds, or what we call the metal impact sounds of metal hitting metal. For us to be able to design these sounds later as realistically as possible, we visited lots of farmers in the area and further afield, so that we have reference recordings that let us know what each attachment sounds like. These reference sounds later serve us as templates for designing the sounds as realistically and authentically as possible.
For
FS22, our programmers have built us a really cool tool that allows us to trigger multiple sounds at any point during the animation. That's why we've designed a lot of individual sounds that, when played together, create a completely new sound. With the new audio tool, we can essentially decide which sound should play at which time during an animation. Multiple timelines are displayed for us for each attachment, one per animation to be precise, and the timeline corresponds to the duration of that animation. So when we start an animation, a green line moves along the timeline. We can then use coding to select a point in time on this timeline and set when which sound should play. For example, when starting a trailer's dumping animation, you hear the tailgates opening, the different metal impact sounds of metal hitting metal, and finally the hydraulic sound of the cylinder.
Vor allem schön, tief und realistisch.
In order to be able to trigger the different sounds for extending or retracting a trailer, the coding allows us to effectively enter a direction, meaning that if the green line is moving from left to right in the positive direction, we can select one or more sounds that should play. And if the green line moves in the negative direction, meaning from right to left, a different sound should play. For example, when retracting the trailer, we hear what we call cylinder punches. These are sounds that the cylinder's smaller piston, which comprises several components, makes when it meets the next larger in size. To put it simply, the new audio attachment system means that each attachment will have its own individual sound for each animation. We hope you like the new feature as much as we do. But that's not all. We have another feature for you that makes the driver cabin sounds more realistic and detailed.
Indoor Cabin Rumble.
Spielgefühl ist wichtiger als Speicherplatz.
When you're driving a tractor or another vehicle, the engine isn't the only thing you hear. You also hear the rattling or shaking of different objects in the cabin, such as the seat, which is constantly moving, or the gear shift, which gently swings to the left and right when driving. In order to imitate these sounds, we've recorded a range of reference sounds in several cabins, and then later used them to design a loop that dynamically changes depending on the terrain you're driving over. Depending on the steering and unevenness of the terrain, the loop sounds more intense or weaker. It's pitched higher or lower, becomes louder, quieter, or even completely silent when driving over smooth terrain. In general terms, you can say that the more uneven the terrain is, the wilder the cabin sounds become. That's it from us audio dudes. Back to Martin.
Thank you, Niels. I'm sure you still have a lot of questions, and I'd like to remind you again that you can always join the official Farming Simulator Discord server and chat with us there. We will be there during and after the show to chat with you. And now it's time for another Q&A session where we answer questions you have sent us yesterday after the show. We went through them early this morning and asked as many people as we could to get the answers. Here they are.
Welcome to day 3 and the second Q&A with Kenneth and me, Lizardan.
We're back.
Yeah, we are back. We asked you guys to send in questions, and boy, we got like more than 900 questions yesterday night. But of course we had to select a few, right? What we did is we filtered out all questions that were just doubled and 10 times and like 50 times. These are gone. There were a lot of in-depth questions about modding, about a lot of aspects of the game that we couldn't just get an answer in the shortness of time, right? I mean, you know, it's Friday already and we would have to chase down the developers to get these answers in. Impossible. So we nailed it down to like about 20 questions that we found. If your question wasn't in there, it doesn't mean that we don't want to answer it. Maybe we can't answer it because the time is not there. Maybe it wasn't mentioned often enough because we, of course, picked the questions that we've seen very often, right? The questions that a lot of you guys asked, because if we can or have to nail it down to 20 questions, we have to go with the ones that most people want to like.
Yeah, there definitely is some overlap going on.
Absolutely, yes. So we got it down to 20 questions, and you know it already. We're gonna ping pong a little bit, make sure that everyone answers the question. Of course, we have some developers chased down for a couple of your easier questions. Again, if you feel like there are more complicated questions you really need to ask, jump into the Q&A here in Discord or try to ask it over the next weeks. We are still there. You can always contact the community team. Let's start with, well, a simple one. What fruit types are there going to be available in greenhouses?
This is something, since we've been talking about strawberries yesterday,
that's how
everybody's
the question
like,
came up.
what's coming up?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the greenhouses are a little bit different this time around. We will have strawberries, tomatoes, and salad, basically. And these are going to be, as we've shown, part of the production chain system. So they will basically produce pallets, and you can then further distribute them, sell them, whatever you want to do with the production chain system.
Nice. And yeah, that was a question we combined. Like, there are a million questions about what's in the greenhouses, how do you use greenhouses,
what's
all
in the
this
strawberries
stuff.
box.
You answered them all. Well done.
Strawberry box.
Another one for you,
Das
Lars.
war's für dich,
Is there no season pass for FS22?
We've seen that question a lot, that's why we picked it. There will be a season pass. We will announce season pass a little bit later. Give us a couple more weeks. As you all know, we are self-publishing, so some things take a little bit more time right now. But yeah, there will be a season pass. There will be a season pass for PC as well. I've seen that question coming up a lot. We're gonna announce that soon-ish.
Ish.
When will modders, and that one, there are millions of modder questions. When will modders get their hands on the Giants editor? Well, as you don't know, and I don't know, we had to ask Stefan Maurus again, and here's what he had to say.
The Giants editor will be released like almost the same like we did with FS19. So yeah, you should receive some information around the release.
There you go.
Nice. This guy is there every night right now, answering all the questions.
He's our
answered
star.
like a million questions yesterday, and I'm going to see him a little bit more often with that Q&A. Thank you, Stefan, for doing this. It's really awesome. Okay, that one, I'm not sure if you can answer it, but we're going to see. Do you think it will be possible for modders to make it so that we can select the number of days in each month? Because
ist es möglich für Modder, dass sie die Tage im Monat auswählen können, dass sie einen Mod schreiben können, wie viele Tage das es im Monat hat.
With our community and our talented modders, anything is possible. Anything's possible down the road.
Alles ist möglich.
We've seen the feedback that you guys have given us over the first season's impressions that Jos gave us, and also in the Q&A that happened 2 nights ago. We're definitely trying to see what we can do about it. There might still be some changes, as we've said at the start of the Farmcon. Nothing is final yet. This is still kind of
in development.
In development, yes. We're live developing while doing crazy events like Farmcon as well. So we will see what's going to happen post-launch. I'm sure that it's definitely, I checked with Jos, it's definitely possible maybe to do this like via mods or something, but we'll just have to see how it's gonna look after launch, what the situation is.
And if I recall correctly, Jos actually mentioned during the Q&A session on day 1 that it will be possible. It's very complicated.
Yeah,
but modders can do it.
It's a very complicated and delicate matter because it's very deep in terms of how the script works and everything for the game. But yeah, I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff that modders have been able to pull off. So if that's the question, I think it's possible. Hell yes.
Okay.
So here we go. This one's for you, Lars, and this is the most asked
over
question,
all of Farmcon. I know.
Over these last 2 days. What's with the ominous AI helper menu that we saw?
Okay, so here's the deal. Blah blah.
Helper manual.
Yeah, well, we won't talk about this during Farmcon. Sorry guys, this will not happen, but we're gonna announce or talk about that in the near future.
Soon.
It is a not yet announced feature. That's what we can say, I guess. And it's one of the features that when I was asked, what do you like a lot that we can't speak about, it's one of these. You'll see, it will be awesome, but yeah, not now. Sorry. So, what about forestry? Will trees have falling sounds? That's an interesting one, and we just had, I believe, when this Q&A starts, we just had sound presentations. I think the Q&A is after them, before, I'm not sure. Anyway,
maybe it's going on right now.
We're gonna ask Christian what he's saying.
For LS22, we are adding the sounds of falling trees, and also the forestry machinery, such as the harvesters, has much improved animation sounds as well. And everything else is currently a work in progress.
Okay, Sie arbeiten noch dran. Ich wollte mal aufpassen, auf jeden Fall. Hellgeräusche und die Forest, die Waldgeräte haben verbesserte Sound und Animation, so wie Sie es vorhin gezeigt haben.
And with that we shift, and I love that, we shift to a different topic, to Gearshift. Because there were several questions after we announced, well, you did technically announce it yesterday.
Yeah, more or less.
We picked 2 questions that are, I think, the most interesting for you guys, because we've seen them a lot. The first one is, how will manual shift work? And we're going to give that one to Stefan Maurus, who introduced this thing yesterday, so he can tell us how it works.
So the gear shifting is working like in real life. So we got for each tractor an individual setup, like the gears are in real life. So you normally have some gears and then some groups, and you can shift them manually, or you turn off that setting and you let the game shift automatically.
Gangschaltungen und Gangschaltungsgeräusch und manuelle Umschaltung.
With that being said, follow-up question for you. Will the gear shift work with the gear shifter such as the one from Logitech G25 or 27?
Gangschaltung
I mean,
von Logitech,
with all wheels,
ob die
it's currently still
funktioniert.
an ongoing development in terms of what basically the default key bindings are and everything, but it will be possible. And we're still figuring things out how to where it's going to be put, because all of these templates basically need to be designed from scratch, partly depending on what kind of wheel you're using. But we're doing our best to try and cover them all. And of course, always you have the possibility to just like configure the stuff to your heart's content.
But yeah, you made a lot of people happy with that answer, that it works. I can promise. I've seen Discord yesterday. It was crazy.
Good. Another one for you, Lars. Why were some streamers chosen as ambassadors versus modders or people who create actual game content?
Yeah, I picked that one on purpose for that list. It wasn't asked too often, but I think it's very important to...
Yeah, I've seen it mentioned a couple times.
I think it's important to explain what an ambassador is, a partner is, a modder is, and an influencer is. Because the ambassador program is just one tiny bit of our overall strategy for the community, right? The ambassador program means that whoever we pick as an ambassador speaks a language I don't speak, or the community team doesn't speak, like Brazilian Portuguese, or Polish, or whatever we have, Romanian, Spanish, we have all these languages, French. You have seen a lot of French people over the last 2 days. That makes them an ambassador for us,
so schaut es aus, wenn man Giants Partner ist.
Our messages and bring that to players who don't speak German or English, because that's the only 2 languages we speak. At the same time, we want the feedback from these players as well, and we need them to bring, let's say, Romanian
Es gibt mehrere Stufen,
so the
und
ambassadors
warum dass es so viele gibt, weil sie halt aus jedem Land ein paar haben, deren Sprache, weil die halt der Landessprache wichtig sind und es besser
ist. They speak English, so do I, but they speak English at times where I'm sleeping. Now with Terminator in, we're gonna see changes to the ambassador program when it comes to the English-speaking ambassadors, because we need to adjust this, but this will be for after Farmcon, right? Modders do have their own part. It's the mod hub with the mod hub messengers, where they can contact our QA team, actually, and talk to people who are more, well, with modding.
Eingetragene Modder haben das Recht, halt mehr Sachen zu fragen, die kriegen mehr Infos vom QA
to me about modding, because I can't help them, I can't answer things. So we need the mod hub team for that. Same thing with the partner program, which is technically a affiliate program with benefits. That one is for influencers, because they are the ones bringing out our messages to viewers. So every part of the community has a reason to be there. The ambassadors are for languages we don't speak or time zones we are not in. Yeah. That's the basic thing. We're gonna make some adjustments over the next weeks, you will see, but that is why.
Also I've seen so many people ask me, why is that an ambassador?
It is because he speaks the right language and he is in touch with the people we need to be in touch with. Modders have a very dedicated community, but they are not exactly the best in just getting out messages to our players, to the viewers. That's what influencers
are. If I can chime in very quickly, the modding community itself, something that we're always amazed by is just about how these people also interact with each other. So oftentimes if you have problems with modding, we have like several channels, be it on the Discord or our forum, and people like to help each other out, basically help them raise those skills in certain areas, and that's just something that's really, really great in my opinion.
Absolutely, yes. So, and if you
also
are
was ich auch unterhalte, wie gut das eigentlich die Modder untereinander kommunizieren, wie gut dass die sich austauschen, was da entstehen kann dabei und was alles entsteht, ohne dass die große Einfluss haben.
In the Giants conversion. And sorry, again, my English, you know, still German. That's why I do the German translation usually. Will there be mod conversion function in the Giants editor? That one is for Stefan Maros again, and we're gonna ask him.
At the moment, it's not planned to have a conversion function like we had with FS19, just because the difference between the FS19 XMLs and FS22 XMLs is not that huge, and you also receive an information in the game if you get an attribute that does not exist anymore.
This question pops up every Farmcon,
yeah, that's true.
I remember that one being there when we announced Farming Simulator 19 as well.
Also es ist nicht mehr ganz einfach, diese Fahrzeuge rüber zu holen.
Back to steering wheels and all these things. Will Farming Simulator 22 support force feedback?
Aber du musst auch wieder was
that's
machen.
Something that's been asked in the Q&A
aber davor habe ich gar keine
Stefan
Ahnung.
was also a part of, and he also chimed in a little bit. We're not planning on it for FS22 in particular, but it's something we might have a look at down the road, definitely.
Cool. Oh, simple questions, I love it.
Da bin ich echt mal gespannt auf die XML und auf die Lua-Datei dann.
I've read it a bunch of times. Will there be some kind of simplified GPS?
Yeah. It's just in there because so many people ask. Because the answer is very quick. It's no. We don't have GPS in Farming Simulator 22, so it's not there. But we know a lot of people asked, so that's why we have this question here. And of course, because we know a lot of you asked for it, we know that it's something you guys would love to see. And of course, it's on our plate, but it's just not there for Farming Simulator 22 yet.
Also sie sind auf dem Schirm, aber noch nicht umgesetzt, nicht für 22.
Tractors and combines. You can talk a little bit about the license plate feature here.
People like the license plates, it seems. So I checked in game just to get a little bit of an overview. License plates actually will be available on most vehicles, not all of them. It's always depending also if they would have like the space, we have the space on the model to implement it, or where it would be in real life. So we're trying to get that feature onto as many as possible. So it's unfortunately not all, but a lot.
Yeah. How does it work now?
Eine Menge, aber nicht
all. We spoke about you can customize them.
Yeah,
do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, you can basically customize them in terms of what kind of symbols you want to put on there, be it like numbers or, of course,
letters.
Yeah, simple letters like that. We have a bad word filter on that as well. Yeah. And you can also change the design a little bit, and they are also tied. We revealed that yesterday, also tied specifically to what map we're playing on, which also means that, of course, modders might, for their mod map, use a different kind of license plate, for example.
Nice.
All right, this one's also an interesting one. Can we take on more than only one contract?
Well, interestingly enough, we saw a lot of feedback about that over the last 2 days. And this question was there a lot as well. I've spoken to the team, and I think we mentioned yesterday that the whole contract mission thing is still work in progress. We are still working on it. It's not done. So it is planned, from what I heard. Our developers told me it is planned, but we can't promise anything.
Geplant, dass von Anfang an mehr wie ein Auftrag annehmen kannst.
Topics that's just really wavy, it's still in development, can't narrow anything down.
We're gonna find out
soonish.
So that one is something I'm gonna mispronounce a lot again. Maybe not. If I deliver a pallet of flour to...
Flour.
That's why, you know, I couldn't even in the podcast. It's your... You ask it.
All right, I will ask it. If I deliver a pallet of flour to another player's production chain, will they be able to use it?
And I'm the one answering it. No, I'm not. I'm going to give that over to Mr. Maros again.
Yes, that's indeed the case. If you sell your flour to another player, he'll be able to use it for his productions.
Also
That was quick.
du kannst
That was super quick.
zum Beispiel Mehl,
Yeah, we talked a
wenn wir
little
zu
bit
zweit
about
spielen,
it
kann ich
during
dir Mehl
our
auf deinen Hof
presentation.
verkaufen
If you have not
und
seen
du
the
kannst benutzen für deine Produktion. Das heißt, ich kann Zwischenprodukte
It's on
untereinander
YouTube,
verkaufen,
of
dann
course.
wechselt
It
auch
is.
die ID.
Completely. Watch
Find
it.
this-
It
this
was
hab ich schon
awesome
gewusst.
and it revealed a lot of things
Drum
about
sag ich,
Farming
ich werd
Simulator
Baron.
22. You should technically
Was bist
watch
du?
the entirety
Ich
of
bin ein
Farmcon,
Baron.
really. There are a lot of cool
Warum
stuff.
So
denn?
much information.
Olivenbaron.
So that one, super interesting. We put it on here even if it was only asked once, but I think it is a very, very interesting question in general. My girlfriend is disabled and needs special key bindings that we optimized over months. Will we be able to transfer our key bindings from Farming Simulator 19 to Farming Simulator
Ach, das bin
22?
mal gespannt.
Okay,
Ob die
so
Tastaturbelege
I
von
checked
19 und
this
22
with,
jetzt
some
schieben
of
kannst.
our internal developers as well. Since Farming Simulator 22 is like a new game that brings in new features, there will be like changes to the input binding file itself that you can like adjust. It probably won't be able to just like copy paste the whole file, but you will be able to like copy and paste parts of it. But the new file basically will have new different bindings in there.
Du kannst
so
die Tastaturbelegung vom 19er zwar nicht als komplette XML-File hinüber kopieren, du kannst aber Etappe aus dem XML-File rauskopieren und die neue reinkopieren.
But
Das
if you did
geht.
like a lot of customization, I think probably the easiest way would be to just start up the game, check the input bindings, and then copy over the specific changes that were needed before.
So there are probably
grad, wie es
extra
am
lines
einfachsten
for
geht.
things that haven't been in Farming
Yeah,
Simulator 19.
exactly.
So find
das
the
ist
lines
gar nicht
you
schlecht.
change.
Ja,
you
dann
adjust it,
nimmst du
and
einfach
copy them,
Notepad++,
and then you should be
machst
fine.
Compare,
Probably
wenn
the
du einmal
easiest way to
gestartet hast
go
und dann
about
guckst,
it.
was da fehlt.
Fertig.
Another one we've seen yesterday in the chat actually. Will the game have VR support?
No, it won't. It's not a VR game, so it
Arti
won't
Maus.
have VR support. I know it has been asked a lot, but here's the thing. Creating a game in VR is a very, very difficult task. It takes a lot of time because you have to make the whole game basically
It's
VR ready.
different as well. Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's basically like creating a new game almost. And this takes a lot of time, and we don't spend that time to do that right now. Of course, it's on our plate. It would be awesome, right? To drive a VR tractor. I would love it. Man, I have VR at home. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of time and is not planned for Farming Simulator 22.
VR.
Will Farming Simulator 22 have bird sounds? Didn't we have
Ooh,
bird
a
sounds? in
sound
19?
question.
Yeah,
Ist
it's
eine
a
gute
sound
Frage.
question, and we're gonna hand it over to our second sound guy.
FS22 will have bird sounds, yes, and the trigger frequency changes depending on daytime, seasons, and the location the player is currently on.
Yeah.
Okay,
And if
also
I can just say the map sounds,
das
they
laute
sound
Geschrei der Vögel.
amazing.
You should have seen it right now. I mean, the sound presentation is just over, basically, so you should have seen how good the sound is now. It is really, really good. If you don't believe it, re-watch it. I think we said that like
Ja,
3
so
times
genau,
this
mein
Q&A already.
Sound.
Yeah.
Anyway, 4 more to go. Will NPC traffic be faster? And I picked that question on purpose because we've seen a lot of questions regarding NPC
haben wir
traffic
gestern
in
schon
general.
gesehen.
How does it work?
Was,
Is
dass
it
sie schneller
faster? Is
fährt?
it more intelligent? All these things. We picked one of these questions, but it represents all your NPC traffic questions. And Kenny is about to explain how NPC traffic works in Farming Simulator 22.
Yeah,
Ach,
so
das
you
bin
might
ich
have seen
gespannt.
already in the gameplay demo. They've been driving around quite fast. It was actually one of the, since we were demoing the game on Elm Creek, what you saw in the background was the inner state of the map. So of course
tun
on there
bewusst
the
immer nur
traffic vehicles
die
will
Ami-Map
definitely
erwähnen. Die haben
be
noch keinen
faster. And
einzigen
just in
Ton über
general,
die andere
we
Map
worked a
verloren.
little bit about how the like collision detection works.
Das stimmt.
So it should be much better, and that's why they basically can now drive faster. They will like recognize any collisions that come up a little bit earlier. So yeah, just in general, NPC traffic will be faster because collision detection works a bit better.
Nice. And you
Und
still
dynamischer.
can't push them off roads. I've seen that question a lot. Guys, this is a rated E for everyone game, or FSK 0 as
Yeah.
we call it in German. You just don't push cars off streets on games like this, okay? Not
Also
gonna
das ist möglich
Okay,
jetzt, wenn ich es
here's
richtig
the
mitgekriegt
one
habe,
we teased earlier about the Profanity Filter.
dass du Fahrzeuge
will
von der
it be
Straße schieben kannst.
better in general,
Okay.
Lars, and not block words that make
Ich habe es
no
aber nicht
sense. For
richtig, ganz
example,
100%
basement.
kann ich nicht
No.
schwören.
So here's the thing with profanity filters. To understand how these filters work, you need to understand how evil players work. technically, right? If you block a word, then they will find a way around it. A very useful way that we have seen a lot in the past, at least if you're as old as me, is putting XX, bad word, XX. So the profanity filter has to search for this specific word, even if it is surrounded by special characters or letters or numbers or whatever. And because we have so many languages we cover, of course, sometimes it doesn't make any sense because a word is not that bad in German as it would be in English. For example, the word for overweight people in German, easy, in English, swear word. And that's why this filter usually works in a way that sometimes you don't understand, because you're like, why is this word blocked? It is a normal word. Like basement was an example here. It is a normal word. Why is it blocked?
Might be in a different language.
If you just cut it down to specific letters, and they are
das heißt, der komplette Spamfilter und Suchfilter komplett
in order to get rid of the evil people. I know it's sad for people who just don't want to do anything bad with it.
And it's super sad for people that might have something
vielleicht kannst du dich jetzt dann Optimaus nennen.
Something that come up sadly, but it's just the way it works.
It is just the way we need to adjust these filters. Of course, we need to make sure that, you know, they can't do bad things with it. Again, rated E for everyone. We need to protect the people as good as possible, and that unfortunately means sometimes the profanity filter is not as cool as it should be. The last one for you. Is the minimap dynamically? My God, is the minimap dynamically updated, like when we fertilize the field?
The minimap itself, no. It has like a few dynamic features where you can like see players and stuff in multiplayer, for example. But all of these like filter options, they are still reserved for like the main map menu where you have the big overview. Something that might help with that, though, we've seen it a little bit in the gameplay demos and other videos we've shown so far, and I haven't seen too many people talking about it. Maybe they haven't spotted it yet, but we do have a little like information window in the lower right of the heads-up display in FS22. So basically anything you're looking at, you will have the information right there, be it like a field or, for example, like a tractor vehicle or something that belongs to another farm. You will see who's the owner of that and so on and so forth. And it's like very like context dependent. You could be looking at a production chain, for example, and see all the information there. And it's actually a really cool, one of my personal features, because it's just so, it helps with playing, it helps with testing as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because you get the information directly while looking at stuff. It's a really great and powerful little addition to the game, in my opinion.
One of these tiny little, how do you call them yesterday?
Dann ist ein Viertel vom Bildschirm nur mit Anzeige voll.
But not too important, but they can be important if you play.
Yeah, exactly.
Last one, and we kept the best one for last.
Yeah,
the most asked one.
This is probably 500 of these 900 questions you've gotten.
Not joking.
Here it is, Lars. Will there be crossplay in the game?
So first of all, for those of you who have no idea what this question is about, crossplay means that PC can play with console can play with PC, Xbox can play with PlayStation, all these things, right? This question has been there all the time right now because some of the shops announced it, basically. It was on Xbox shop, it said crossplay.
Microsoft
Steam
Shop
had it for like a few hours before they took it down. And the reason for that is, and I'm going to explain that very quick, we are talking to everyone right now because we really want to have crossplay in the game, and we do our best to bring it to you guys. That means we talk to Xbox, we talk to PlayStation, we talk to, you know, all the different people that we need to talk to make sure that crossplay is in the game. However, as of this Farmcon, these talks are not over, right? There is no definite yes, there is no definite no. So for now, crossplay is still possible, but we can't promise, but we can't tell you it won't be there either. We are still talking to these guys, and as soon as we have a definite answer, then we're gonna let you all know if crossplay will be in the game or not. Fingers crossed that it works, but we don't know, and we are working hard to make sure we get it.
Hopefully we'll know soon.
Ich habe mal geschworen, ich kaufe dieses Jahr nicht mehr für meine Konsole, nur noch
that far
PC.
away anymore from release, right?
Yeah.
It's almost August already.
Yeah, yesterday was the 22nd. 4 months to go.
Ich habe die ganze Zeit für beides gehabt.
So a lot of questions that you have asked, we should have answers sooner or later because we are basically on the final steps of our development circle, and we should know sooner or later. That's it. Thank you again. Thank you all of you for asking so many questions.
Yes,
Sorry
thanks.
if your question wasn't covered. As we said, there were like 900 of them, so we couldn't cover them all. It was an insane amount. I was super shocked when I had to find 20 out of it. It was like, oh boy. Well, so thank you everyone. We hope you enjoyed Farmcon so far, and of course, keep enjoying Farmcon because it's not over. If you have missed something, check it out again. And if there are questions, come to Discord. We are answering questions there as we speak, basically, and as many as we can. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy Farmcon. Thank you, Kenny, for being here again. You answered like a million questions over the last 2 days, and probably a million more today. And then, everyone, have a great time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Egal wie
We are almost at the end of Farmcon21, but we have one more special for you.
Jedes Mal ein bisschen was
Remember, the next Farming Simulator League tournament takes place this weekend? Check out the website for all the information about it. Currently leading at the top of the Season 3 standings are Trelleborg, followed by Corteva AgriScience in second place and Valtra in third. The teams have shown amazing skills and teamwork in the esports tournament before, but we wanted to know, how good are they at stacking bales with real tractors? Obviously, we couldn't do this here in the studio. But folks from the German magazine Stark, Faszination und Landtechnik prepared an arena for them. So, let's see, who is the real Lord Baler in the Stark Challenge 2021? It's also time for our final Twitch chat raffle. If you are watching this stream on Twitch, you can now take part and maybe win one of 4 bundles of Farming Simulator 22 on PC, plus vouchers for a dedicated server hosted and sponsored by Nitrado. For those who don't win and live in a German-speaking country, there's another giveaway during the Start Challenge for these regions only. So watch out. Okay, I always wanted to say that. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Mal schauen, wer dabei ist.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Stark Challenge 2021 here at Farmcon. I'm Lars Meinschreck or Lizardton, and with me is Mr. Kerminator. Hello.
Hello.
So we both have casted several FSL tournaments, but this one is very, very special. It's not an FSL tournament, but it's with the FSL teams doing real-life bale stacking.
Right, and we've seen them dominate the Farming Simulator League arena. We know they can handle stacking bales in that. But can they do it in real life? I think that a lot of fans of the FSL and Farming Simulator in general have been intrigued to see them put their skills to the test in the real world.
Yeah, let's see how that turns out. I'm not 100% sure how this competition works just yet, because we are just watching it. I think we see some snippets. From what I get here is that you have to stack bales, apparently it's 3, and then drive through that course. And I don't know what's gonna happen afterwards. Probably unload them or something. We will find out. Yeah, they're gonna unload them in the end. And then I guess best time wins. That's how that's going to work.
Right.
Probably.
Real bale stacks.
And who do we have today? We have Valtra, Krona, and Trelleborg.
Exactly.
And the teams taking place.
Yeah, they all do German interviews. So once they start the interview, I'm gonna translate it for you really, really quick so that you have a rough idea of what's going on. And then we will see how that works. So this is Team Valtra. We know them from the FSL, and now they are here. There they are, wearing their jerseys. Very nice. I love it.
So serious.
Kili, grüß dich. So she asked, what's your favorite machine in real life and in Farming Simulator? He loves Youngtimers. But at the moment it's Valtra T-Series.
Imagine that.
And in the game I modded a Valtra T so that he's nice for me. That's what he said. So he's a modder.
Gotcha.
Good old Hightower. So here we go. First
All
thing
right,
first, load the bales, I guess.
Geil.
So we've got a Manitou telehandler here.
Yeah. I heard they are very powerful in game. Let's see how powerful they are when you play that, well, in real life. There we go, Monty's.
No banning of the Manitou here.
No, you can't ban it out right now. And then, yeah, as guest, you have to stack these bales. Oh. Well, he knows what to do, that for sure. I actually remember this guy. I worked with him over Agritechnica when he was buying a new tractor back in, when was the last one? Was it 19? I think it was 2019. So he definitely is a farmer. He knows exactly what's going on. And yeah.
Well, that's got to be useful, having the skills already coming
Absolutely.
in. Because I like to say I only pretend to be a farmer on the internet.
Same. Absolutely same. So just because you know how to play the game, you don't know how to operate one of these beasts. But yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's super focused. I wish he would be as focused when he's playing Farming Simulator League, you know. Well, that was me. I hope he will never watch that video.
We won't tell them. Hopefully,
no.
He won't find out.
No. We just sent him a version without us talking, you know, just music. That will work. But yeah, he's doing very well, stacking these bales. As I said, just from what I saw in the snippets, I guess you have to stack 3 of them. So he's picking up the 3rd one in just a second.
He may have found this a little bit harder if he was having to use mouse and keyboard inside the Manitou.
Yeah, probably.
Just a guess I'm throwing out there.
But this tells why some people ask, can I play this with a wheel? Yeah, can I use a steering wheel in Farming Simulator League? No, you can't, but now you know why they want to do it.
Right.
That's how they used to do it. But yeah, that looks good. I don't know if it's fast or not. It looks fast to me, but, you know, no comparison.
Right, well,
yeah?
Speed maybe isn't quite as much of a key here as it is in the FSL just because of the nature of the competition, but he's not really gotten stuck. Nice smooth motions. You can definitely tell he knows what he's doing.
Okay, he is done. Next up, well, probably put a belt. Yeah, there are the belts, making sure that they are not falling down. And you can tell they try to be fast, though.
Right, you got to be fast here now. This is the time where you can actually use your body and do this as fast as possible. Little bit, least time wasted as possible. I'm sure required in this stage.
Still making sure it's nice, though. You can tell.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're not going to lose it.
Make sure it's nice, looks good. You know, style points given, definitely. Yeah, super useful to have Hightower there. This guy is more than 2 meters tall, so you know he's just like, oh yeah, I can see that. It's not easy.
Living up to the name Hightower, then. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely is. That's where he got it from, though. This guy's a giant. He's like 22 years old.
We have a few giants in the Farming Simulator League.
Absolutely.
You've seen.
You should have seen Team Amazon last year. Holy moly. They were all giants. But yeah, Hightower definitely is one of the tallest, probably the tallest in the entire league. Super useful here when he's just, you know, fiddling with the belt. 3 minutes 44 so far, and yeah, well, as I said, because they're the first ones, I don't know if they are super fast right now or not. We're gonna see that when I think Team Krone is the second one, when Team Krone starts. For now, it looks good to me. They are doing well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice smooth start. I think that the biggest thing is to try to not make mistakes, and they haven't really made any yet, as we can tell.
Yeah, and now they are driving out. Let's see. So there's this parkour, and from what I got is there are tennis balls on these things. Is that even happening now, or are they? No, they are not there yet. They are just driving. This is where you can be fast, right? This looks like something you can do very quick. Super focus as well.
You still got to be careful to not go too fast here, although they did strap those bales in nicely.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't be going anywhere.
And again, you can tell they did it a lot because these belts, they look professional. You know?
They really did.
They were too long, so they made them nice. They know exactly what's going on.
Is he driving a Fent here? Is that what they... Yeah, there it is. Now we get to see it. Stropman trailer.
Yeah. See, there are these tennis balls on top of these. What are they even called in English?
We call them a cone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So do you lose points if you knock a tennis ball off?
I guess so. That's what they're there for. That's at least what I
Auf deiner Pylone
imagine
sind
is happening
Tennisbälle
here.
drauf. Wenn du den Tennisball runterkriegst, kriegst du Punkte abgezogen.
Yeah, very focused, very nice.
He nudged that one a little bit, but the
Und
tennis
du musst
ball
rückwärts
stayed
fahren
on.
bei dem Ding.
This looks like that's the hardest part of the entire challenge, if you ask me.
I think that I would have just wiped them all out
Yeah,
and then just said, I'm here at the finish line. What's my point penalty for knocking all of this off?
Yeah. Just bring out the dogs. I'm throwing tennis balls. So they can have a little bit of fun. No, but it looks good. This guy, yeah. Scotty knows exactly how to do it. Oh. Yeah, well, no. He's a professional. Easy peasy. If no one knocks anything down, is it even interesting then?
Right? I think, well, in the Farming Simulator League, some of the best moments are when mistakes happen.
Exactly.
But I think you want even less mistakes to happen when it comes to real life equipment.
Yeah. And they're doing very well. I mean, this looks really good.
Nice and smooth.
Actually, looks like it would be fun. I want to do that now. I want to be part of that challenge, but I guess it's too late.
It might be too late, but maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe. No, that one? No. Ah, yeah.
Oh,
he
there
kicked
went
one
one.
down. Nice. This is a penalty for sure. Not good, not good.
I'm guessing it's time added onto your
Yeah,
time.
that's probably
There's no
how it
point
works. That's
scoring
usually
system,
how it
so-
works in sports, isn't it?
Right.
Like if you have something that's just where you just try to be fast, then if you make a mistake, it just adds to your time.
Manche Leute kommen doch echt
So
auf
that's
verrückte
probably what they
Ideen.
do here.
So now they
Das ist
are
eigentlich
unloading
langweilig.
them? Is that what's going on here?
I guess so. We'll know in a second. Are you even, what about these belts? Make them nice. I can't believe you're just throwing them. The hell? But yeah. Oh no, they do it. Okay. And now it's Hightower's turn to unload these things.
Sind 300 oder was?
Again, I don't know if they are fast or not, but I'm quite sure they had fun.
Yeah.
Because that looks like they're
that's the
having a lot
important
of
part
fun,
here.
honestly.
I wonder, these guys, I think, naturally are
Neue Challenge,
competitive when
Carsten.
it comes to the
Merkst,
FSL,
ja.
so I'm sure there was a bit of competitiveness going into
Oh, yeah,
the
for sure.
Stark
Ich weiß nicht warum,
bale
aber
stacking
jetzt hab ich
challenge as
deine
well,
Gedanken
but
irgendwie
I think they
gespürt.
probably also see this as a way to just have a little bit of fun and show their skills out in a different way in the real world setting.
Yeah, and I mean, these teams haven't seen each other for a long time. We shouldn't forget that we had no offline tournaments for like a year now. More than a year, actually. The last one was IEM Katowice in March of last year. So these guys haven't seen each other for a while because we
Aber
had
mit
to
so einem
wait
Traktor,
until
wo
it
man
was safe
treppeln
and
muss,
secure
weißt du,
to
so ein
do these
Kindertraktor zum
things.
Treppeln.
Right.
So they are all, of course, they are all tested. They're all vaccinated.
Hallo, Heiko.
They got their needle.
Right.
What's the
Yeah,
English
I mean,
word?
it's
You can
good-
help. You're the English caster. Come on.
You were doing all right. I was just going to let you go with it and see how far you could go.
Well,
I do like to see things, hopefully can start returning back to normal because I've only done casting for FSL tournaments online. And of course, I'm a lot further away than you from the studio. But it would be nice to start seeing the players back in the studio and everyone just, together again because there's just as much fun as the online tournaments are. There's just something special about being able to see the players' reactions live and how excited they get when they make a good play or, win a round at the last second. So hopefully we can get back to that at some point in the near future. But it's been nice, like you said, for these guys to get out and see each other in person again. And I think that's important for team building.
So what's next now?
He's running. Oh, they have to run
Unsere
the finish
Zuschauer
line.
auf dumme Ideen zu bringen.
11 minutes.
Yeah. 11, maybe slightly under. Guess we'll see the official time.
There is Team Cronin
Later.
coming in. Good old dealers. And Marshall Maiden. He's the driver. Okay. I get it now.
All right.
Now I know how it works.
Und worauf freust du dich am meisten hier heute in der Challenge?
Ja,
Shians, what are you happy about today?
als Team irgendwo vor Ort zu sein, auch die anderen mal wieder zu sehen.
I bet he.
Yeah, he's basically exactly saying what we said. She was like, so what makes you the most happy to be here today? And he was like, well, to see the guys again, because I haven't in a while, and to drive real machinery. So yeah.
Right.
Sounds good. We know the drill by now. Let's see if they are faster. I'm quite sure these guys, I mean, this is, I don't know for how long you played Farming Simulator, but do you remember
so
BM
Manitou
modding?
gefahren mit 2 Achslenkern?
BM modding? Is that what you
Manitou
said?
nicht, aber unsere Glaskopien.
I think I've heard the name.
Ja,
Ja,
Krama auch.
They turned
kriege ich nicht in den
into
Griff.
creative mesh. They are
Der
creating the
Manitou
straw
kommt bei
harvest
mir aus,
add-on.
aus meiner Stadt.
Okay,
These
yeah.
are the guys creating the straw
Bitte?
harvest add-on. So
Der Manitou, der
they
kommt bei mir
know
aus
a
der
lot
Stadt.
about the game, but they do know a lot about farming as well, because they are, if I'm not mistaken, they are all farmers. I remember that when I was chatting to these guys a while ago, they were all like, "Oh, we can't do something on this weekend because we're all out harvesting and stuff." So
ja, denke ich auch.
they should be good. That's what I'm saying here. They
Welchen
should be
Tilly-Lader
good.
habt ihr denn? Von welcher Marke?
No pressure. Then.
No pressure, but
Yeah.
I expect a lot from Team Krone. I'm quite sure all three are all farmers, though. I think for Trelleborg, definitely Trelleborg has a lot of farmers. And yeah, it was the same for Valtra.
I think this happens more than we realize, or maybe not we, but fans of Farming Simulator maybe don't realize that a lot of the times real-life farmers come in from working the fields all day and actually play a little bit of Farming Simulator.
Unsere ganze Bauer haben heute
who
2000 Ballen und alle Felder runtergezogen, weil es ab
hey,
heute
maybe I
Nacht
can
12
give
wieder
my hand
regnet.
at some real equipment here
Am
soon.
Sonntag
Because yeah, this would have been fun to
Die
take part
Blöde,
in, but
die
I'm not
heizen
sure
immer
if they
noch
trust me to
außen
drive
rum
this
gerade.
Manitou.
Ja,
Well,
so
at one point they might.
Mit denen jetzt alles gedroschen diese Woche.
An hour or two, and
Also
then you should
ich
be
habe
fine to
früher
at least
für
not
Wacker Nordstrom
destroy
gearbeitet,
everything.
bevor ich zu Glas gegangen bin.
Du bist
Und,
für Bagger?
Who knows?
Ja.
Yeah,
Und
a lot of
Kramer,
these
die
guys are
landwirtschaftlichen
farmers.
Maschinen
A lot
kenne
of
ich
our
natürlich
players are
auch.
farmers.
Ja,
Of
aber die
course, not
gleichen
all of
Maschinen
them.
gibt es auch in der
I
Bauwirtschaft.
think,
Aber
well,
Kramer ist eine
we
geile
both
Marke,
proved that
wirklich
because
geile
I'm not a
Maschine.
farmer.
Also,
I'm from a big city in
ich
Germany.
bin ganz
Well,
ehrlich, wie bei Glas
compared
noch war
to
und dann
your
ist
cities,
gefragt
it's
worden,
tiny. But you know, for Germany,
welchen
it's big.
Teleskoplader oder Skorpion habe ich wirklich
Like,
immer
Yeah,
abgelehnt.
I think
Habe
also
gesagt,
moving to
400,000
the
people
third
living
largest in the US.
Yeah.
Kramer kommt aus der Landwirtschaft, waren früher
that's gonna
Landwirtschaft,
be
die Hersteller haben
interesting.
Bullocks
Yeah,
hergestellt
as I said,
gehabt.
I mean, Duisburg, where I'm from, I
Stimmt.
think it's like the 12th or 13th largest in Germany.
Ich finde
and it
aber
has
Wackerlader
400,000
geiler.
people living
So ein
there, right?
Hochwackerlader mit
Ah, okay.
Knicklenkung, das
That's
ist
what you call a
richtig was
village, I
Schönes,
know.
Geiles.
So,
Da ist aber da, ich finde,
we know the
der
drill
Kramer
here.
Allradlader
Oh,
schöner.
that was bad.
Okay.
Try again. How can you not? You need someone like Hightower who's big enough to do
Right.
this. That's exactly
Never,
where, you know, it is the problem.
Philipp, grüß dich.
Right, I don't think that these FSL teams
Ich
ever
hab
thought
zum
height would be a problem
Hausbauer
for
nur
the teams.
Caterpillar gehabt, weil wir einen großen Caterpillar-Verleih
then
haben.
we've shown that maybe
Die
maybe here in the Stark
Teleskoplader,
Challenge, it actually
die
is
sind auch
important.
nicht
But they're
schlecht.
doing all right.
Die
So
werden ja
next
von
year, when they
Seebogen
switch
gebaut.
around players for the
Seebogen
FSL,
kommt aus
everyone tries to get
Wackersdorf
Hightower just
Da
because of his
werden
height.
die
Just for this.
Teleskoplader hergestellt.
Just for
Das
any
sind
real
Senneburger.
life event
So let's
that
see if they
requires
do
that.
that
Senneburger
nice
sind
as
richtig
well,
geil.
or if they, you
Also,
know,
ich
I
hätte
would just
bei
throw the
Senneburgen
rest of it
für Fan anfangen
onto the
können.
bales and like, yeah, well,
In der
it will
Produktentwicklung
drive
für
now.
den Teleskoplader.
But oh no, they are doing it nicely. Look at
Er hätte
that.
es gemacht, wäre gescheiter gewesen.
That's how you do it, guys. If you have ever wondered how to use these belts, that's... I'm not sure anymore. Yeah, well, yeah, it still looks good. So that's how you do it. That's how you use these belts. Oh, look at him. He's the professional.
Sind sie auch JCB? Das stimmt.
They all are, it seems like. But I feel like they are taking longer here
Yeah,
than
it feels
Vulture
like
did.
they are slower. Definitely
Maybe
feels
taking
like
a
they are
little
slower.
bit more care, like with how they're tying
Also,
these up.
Ich war
They
ja
almost look like they're putting it
bisschen
into
so
a nice,
real-life
pretty
zu
bow. They're going
reden.
for
Warte mal, ich mach mal das
this
hier
style.
Except for
Also-
that one, though.
so ein bisschen zurückpegeln.
But yeah, the first one, the front one looks, well, the back one technically looks a little
Wacker
bit.
Nordstrom, ich habe Kramer Schulung
well, he
gehabt
tried,
für die
but the other two
Fahrzeuge.
look good.
Und
yeah,
da bei der
440,
Kramer
that
Schulung
is
hast du
slower, I
auch
guess. But now,
das Gefühl
the
gekriegt, wie du mit diesem Kramer Radlader oder sowas fahren kannst.
Let's see if you
Also
can do
egal,
it.
ob das jetzt für die Landwirtschaft gewesen ist oder für die Bauwirtschaft. Und du hast die Konkurrenzmodelle
Yeah, but
natürlich
we're-
auch dazu
yeah, we're
gehabt.
done.
Und
Bye,
was du mit
guys.
einem Kramer machen kannst, das kannst du mit keinem anderen machen.
I still like the
Also wenn du
chrome
die,
Germans, though.
die Schaufel richtig
I think
auch
they're
hochgehoben hast, auch nur mit
Ah,
Gewicht
anything
dran,
with green in it is good in my eyes.
Yeah, well,
ist schon
I'm
krass.
not arguing.
Das kriegst du mit anderen nicht hin, ohne dass du umkippst.
Ist der Kramer der Unimog unter den Fahrzeugen, ne?
Ja, kann man so sagen. Kannst wirklich so sagen.
So,
Viele Gemeinden haben den Kramer, weil er es einfach kann.
Der Kramer ist wirklich gut.
Oh, yeah, he
Kostet
is
zwar
going
auch, aber
Oh,
Kramer
he's-
ist wirklich top.
Yeah, trying to make up for lost time here for sure. You can see the dust kicking up.
Ich habe ein
behind
bisschen
it.
zurückdrehen müssen. Selbst für mich ist es ein bisschen zu laut
This guy is a
gewesen.
racer.
Vor allem dieses unterschiedliche
this is
Englisch, was
racing
geredet wird da drinnen, das ist ein
effect.
bisschen sehr anstrengend da zu
Might not be the
folgen.
best for any race, but it's definitely
Eigentlich sollte
good
ich meine
for
Frau
tractor
holen, weil
racing.
meine Frau, die versteht oder spricht mehrere Sprachen. Also
So,
mehrere
let's
ist
see
gut
how he
gesagt, die
handles
spricht
the
sogar sehr viele
tennis
gesprochen.
Course, or whatever we call it. The cone course.
Dann schicke ich dir meine mit vorbei.
Eigentlich, Christian, geht's hier um das reale FSL-Rennen. Ich warte noch drauf, ob noch irgendwas danach kommt. Ich glaube es aber nicht, dass vom LS22 heute noch was kommt. Warte mal, ich habe doch den Ablaufplan reingeschrieben gehabt bei uns. Mal gucken, was da drin steht.
Probably couldn't afford really to knock one of these off because of the time they have to make up, but you also have to
Ich
weigh
gebe der Garantie, wenn das nicht virtuell gewesen wäre, hätte man das in echt gesehen. Glaubst du nicht dran? Dann hätte man das zugucken können live.
Ja. Glaube ja.
Das war bestimmt geplant.
Ja, das hatten die bestimmt geplant für die Farmcon, denke ich auch.
Also ich glaube nicht, dass da irgendwie jetzt noch was anderes kommt.
Nee, ich auch.
Angedacht war ja die Früchte, dann war angedacht der Sound und schade, dass vom Sound nicht mehr gezeigt wurde, muss ich echt sagen.
Wobei das eigentlich der Sound richtig aufwendig wird für Motor, wenn ich das richtig gesehen habe. Du musst ja die Soundeffekte dann bei der ganzen Animationen mit einbauen.
Also für die Motor, glaube ich, wird der LS22 alles aber nicht mehr einfacher. Vor allem schade finde ich, dass man die Watts nicht mehr konvertieren kann, so einfach. Also was heißt einfach? Er filtert es halt nicht mehr raus, so wie ich es jetzt richtig verstanden hatte.
Ja, du kannst nicht eigentlich, das geht nicht so einfach.
Also ich denke darauf dann beim 22er auf richtig coole Mods zu kriegen, gleich nach Start ab, können wir vergessen.
Nein, das wird wieder mindestens ein halbes Jahr dauern.
Minimum, glaube ich auch.
Je nachdem, wie schnell die Dokumentationen kommen. Ne?
Ja.
Aber die haben ja, vorhin habe ich ja gesagt, sie wollen es wirklich dieses Mal zum Release Day veröffentlichen.
Also, wenn sie das hinkriegen, wäre es ja super, aber trotzdem, die Modus sollen sich auch lieber Zeit lassen, lieber da richtig einarbeiten, damit wir was Schönes wieder haben.
Also die Dinger, die du schnell kriegst, da kannst du sagen, da hast du wahrscheinlich Probleme mit.
Das ist aber verkehrt. Das ist verkehrt. Es gibt immer so ein, zwei, wo sofort Black Sheep Modding normalerweise, und die funktionieren immer gut, die haben immer als erstes normalerweise die Karte und FSM. Aber FSM gibt es ja nicht mehr leider.
Chemnitzer Karte?
Ja.
Noch nichts gehört. Chris.
Ja, aber alles andere, was da kommt, da wird es eng wahrscheinlich.
Ja. Bei IFCO ist einer, der wartet lieber 20 Tage länger, deswegen sieht es auch meistens super gut aus und funktioniert auch.
Ja, wir haben schon super Modder, muss man echt sagen.
Ich hoffe bloß, dass die Modder Flinten ins Korn werfen, weil der 19er hat einige Modder gekostet. Viele sind so Headland Grots oder direkt wieder zu Giants, die gute Mutter.
Also lass uns überraschen. Ich hoffe ja, dass wenigstens GPS noch kommt und so.
Ja.
Oder VCA für mich. Das reicht.
Du brauchst kein VCA.
Och, ach nee, jetzt nicht mehr dann. Jetzt habe ich ja alles drin. Aber vielleicht kriegen wir ein schönes GPS-System. Ich brauche kein A und B. Nein, ich brauche bloß einen Knopf. Mir reicht ein Knopf, wo belegt ist. Für welche, für wo soll die kommen? Für die 19er noch?
Was denn?
Wird der Christian geschrieben gehabt, eine Karte, die wo Chemnitz, irgendwie Chemnitz hatte. Ich suche jetzt gerade den Text nochmal. Hast du was von der Chemnitzer Karte gehört?
Nee. Nö, ich guck nochmal viel nach neue Mods, nach neue Karte. Ich habe auch gedacht, dass noch diese, die Jan immer gesagt hat, wie heißt sie? Bildbach. Bildbach?
Ich glaube schon. Ich bin gespannt, was da noch kommt. Warte mal, der Christian ist doch hier drin, warte mal. Wo bist du eigentlich da oben? Zack, jetzt kann der Christian auch hier rumhupfen. Hallo Christian. Jetzt ist einfach.
Oh, look at that.
Jetzt ist er ruhig.
If he gets out and over the finish line, this is going to be really close actually. What he's
Jetzt hast du ihn wahrscheinlich überrumpelt.
Und wenn, dann ist er leise.
5 seconds faster.
Yeah, that's really surprising. I wonder, like, you know, it seemed when they were putting the belts on, especially a bit slower, but they made up some time somewhere.
Absolutely.
Jetzt kommt noch mal eine Gruppe.
They were kicking up in the driving section.
Ah gut, du brauchst ja 3, ne?
Really
Now
fast there.
there is the Borg. Team Trelleborg.
Wo ist unser Team von Stäben?
13.
Ja, hast du es gesehen? 13, 16, 17, glaube ich.
Ja. Der Lukas.
Wow.
Respekt.
Okay, so she asked if he's a farmer in real life, and he said that yeah, his grandparents had a farm, so he was able to drive every now and then.
Okay.
So
Sondervergenehmigung.
That's from what
Also
I
wir
get.
waren die, wo
I mean,
das dann
it was
hinterher
in
alles
his
zu
family,
Schrott
but he also
gefahren haben.
mentioned that they had animals and they don't have them anymore. So and he seems to be very young. So almost a real farmer, but not a real farmer because they don't
Das
have
stimmt,
a farm anymore.
Kilian, da hast du schon recht. Ich bin sehr gespannt.
from what I got.
Das Einzige,
Let's
wo ich
see
halt wirklich
how they do
Bedenken
it.
habe,
We all know in the league they
das ist
are
mir jetzt
strong.
schon in den ganzen Videos aufgefallen, wer da ein bisschen genauer
Trelleborg
hinschaut,
still the,
ist das mit diesen Objektausblendungen.
reigning world champions.
Und wenn man dann guckt,
And on their way
wie dann
to
plötzlich
defend
sich
that
die
title
Vegetation
right
zwar verändert und die Bäume dann überhaupt nicht mehr schön ausschauen.
We'll see how they handle
Und dann
the
ploppen die
FSL
plötzlich
tournament
auf.
this weekend. If they can
Das
stretch
ist beim
that lead
gestrigen
at the
Video ist
top.
das gewesen.
And it's with you again, right? I mean, I will.
Was mir gerade auffällt,
as well, but
ja,
I'm
noch
the
am
German
Anfang mit
show,
dem
but
Manitou
you
geladen.
are with
Ja.
the English guys.
Stimmt.
Right, I believe it's
Jetzt laden sie
myself
mit-
and
mit-
Virtual
mit- mit dem
Farmer
Fan.
this time.
So
Vielleicht
if you
können
guys
die-
are interested
können
in
die so auswählen
Farming
wie bei der
Esports and you
FSL,
wonder what's going on,
Das
this
kann natürlich
Sunday,
Gut.
Farming Swindler League is happening and Mr. Kirbinator will
Gut
be there
auftritt.
for you
Aber dann müssen
to
sie halt
do
mit
it
Manitou
in English.
abladen.
And if you are more interested in the German version, hop over to Giant Software DE, where I will be with the Red Cat.
There you go.
It will be awesome. I can't wait because that is always
Kein
a fun
Problem,
Sunday.
Chris,
Not
kein
gonna
Problem.
lie.
Machen wir
Love
dann
it.
gleich.
I do too. I love it so much that I get up at like 1 a.m. to start work on those days.
Yeah, because
of the time
Yeah,
difference.
it's 10 a.m. German
Die machen
time,
das
so
gut.
it's late. in the night
Das ist der
for you.
13-Jährige, oder?
I mean, on the other hand, you know, afterwards we have the entire Sunday left. I don't.
Leute, manche Leute
So
sind
das-
ja
there we go.
echt dreist. Ich
Stark
frage im kleinen Chat eben,
Stark Challenge until
will ja
the
nicht nerven, aber
31st
kann ich
of,
das Spiel jetzt für umsonst haben?
July, you can win a merch package and
Das ist schon
22.
Lost.
Very
Richtig.
nice.
Or a
Lost.
Farming
Traurig.
22 merch package. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna check that out.
Ja,
next time,
natürlich.
because it's so cool.
Du hast ja auch
It's way
gesehen,
too
dass
fast
ich
for me.
viele
I'm just
beschwert
too
habe
old
am
for
ersten Tag. Also die
So,
Zuschauer am ersten Tag waren, glaube ich, die
What do you
meisten.
think?
Mittlerweile
Are
sind wir
these
bloß
guys
noch bei
fast? They
2,8.
looked fast, but
Then
again,
dass
they
ich
looked
beschwert
slow at
habe, dass
Crown and they were
die,
faster.
dass das alles auf
Yeah, I have
Englisch
no
ist.
idea.
Yeah, maybe we're
Giants
not the
ist eine
best
deutsche
judges
Firma.
of,
Nee,
of the
nicht,
speed of this
ist zwar nicht ganz so
competition,
richtig,
because
aber
we
ist
were
okay.
thinking that they were going slower the
Ja,
last
aber
time
ist
around.
doch
To
ja,
me,
klar,
the
englische
movement there
Weltsprache, oder?
on the front loader on the fence
Die
was
englische
just
Weltsprache
not quite
wegen
as
ein paar
smooth.
Stimmen bei der Abstimmung.
But interesting that
Ja,
we're
wir
seeing
sind
a
hier in Deutschland.
telehandler
Es gibt viele, wo
used
ich
and
beschwert
also
habe,
Fendt with the
aber dann
front
dürfen die
loader.
Leute niemals bei SAP
Even
oder sonst
in,
wo
the
anfangen,
Stark
weil
Bale
nämlich
Stacking
da geht
Challenge,
alles
we
nur in
see these
Englisch.
teams
Auch
using
die Kommunikation
some different
untereinander.
strategies,
Das
just
ist-
like they do in the
Ja,
FSL.
ist so.
And we shouldn't forget
Kilian,
that
Bei
this
allen
is also
internationalen
recording.
Konzernen.
This happened,
Das ist eine
I
gute
think,
Frage.
last week.
Man
So,
hat nicht gesehen gehabt, dass man die
It's
Weinreben so
already a
anpflanzen
version,
konnte,
right?
gell?
You can tell that we
Doch,
can't
einmal.
Hat man gesehen?
see exactly
Also konnte
Oder-
man
how
die,
they
oder
get
ist bloß
because
aufgepoppt, ich
every
weiß
now
es
and
nicht.
then they had a lot of cuts.
also
You
man
can
hat
tell
gesehen
they
gehabt,
worked
dass
with like
man sie mit
20
dem Editor
cameras or
setzen
something.
konnte. Ganz
Ja,
einfach.
stimmt,
It's
Editor
very
war's,
nicely
okay.
done, though.
Aber ob man die mit einer Setzmaschine,
Yeah,
ich gehe
it's
schon mal
very
da
high
aus, dass
quality
du die mit einer
video.
Setzmaschine auch
And
setzen
I
kannst.
hope that all of
Es
the
gibt keine
participants had a lot of fun.
gibt's eine
Ja,
Traubensetzmaschine?
Jetzt warte, ich google nach.
They all look happy. Well, these
Ich
guys
glaube
look
nicht, bei
focused
uns waren sie
now,
alle
but-
mit der Hand gesetzt.
We'll
Und
see
ich
who's
komme
the
aus
happiest
der
after it's all
Badischen
said and done.
Weinstraße.
They've still got a while to go and they're
Das kann natürlich
Round
sein,
here.
dass sie
Yeah,
es
they
so
do this
gemacht haben, dass du
professional
dieses Band da
belt
ziehen kannst
handling
dafür,
as
weil
well.
man sie eigentlich mit der Hand setzt. Das ist natürlich möglich.
Very nice.
Mhm. Also wir haben einen Haufen Weinberge. Wir sind
Na, das
bekannt
ist
für
gut.
unseren Schwarzriesling.
So, definitely gaining a couple of seconds
Hmm.
while doing this, I'm sure. Oh, maybe I was wrong for the first. Well,
well, it
Doch,
looks like
gibt's
no
eine
one's pinched their
Pflanzmaschine.
hands in the
Gibt's eine?
tension
Ja.
belts, and
Yeah, that's
that's
good
a
news.
huge plus.
please
Es
don't.
gibt eine Rebensetzmaschine.
Und ist die auch gemacht für Hänge?
The
Das schau
inside
ich
camera
gerade.
in the tractor, so nice.
That's really cool. We have a couple of streamers, like real-life farming streamers in Germany, who have an inside camera. And I just love it.
funktioniert
Sometimes I
so
just
ähnlich
watch their
wie
streams
die
and watch
Baumsetzmaschine.
driving tractors
Okay.
around.
Aber
Yeah,
das
I've
Problem
watched
ist halt,
one,
hat sie
and it
Kette
speaks
oder
German,
weißt
so, and I
wenn
don't,
das bei
but I
uns,
still
wenn
love
bei uns
watching it
anguckst,
anyways, 'cause
wie bei uns die Hänge hochgehen.
So, let's see how fast
da ist jetzt an den Schlepper gehängt.
5 minutes and I have no idea if that's fast or not.
Weil du hast ja vorhin nur die Maschine gesehen zum Schneiden von der Rebe. Das hast du mal kurz gesehen und einmal zum Ende, ne?
So far, I guess. Did we? No, I don't
know. I feel like we saw
like
the first round maybe.
Ich habe noch niemals einen New Holland Vollender gesehen. Dann sind die alle irgendwie braun und grün, die Vollender.
Also die Setzmaschine da, die hat dann so Auflagefläche, da liegen die Reben drin, dann hocken da links und rechts hocken da Leute.
Ja, okay.
Und die geben die dann ein. Das ist, wie gesagt, wie so eine Baum-Setzmaschine. Also ich gehe davon aus, dass sowas wahrscheinlich auch in Giants-Ding reinkommt.
Ja, wow. 5 seconds, but hey, still something, right? Every second
ich bin mal gespannt, was alles von den DLCs mit übernommen wird, ob die Kartoffel-DLC und alles mit übernommen wird.
Ich gehe davon aus. Muss ich ehrlich sagen, ich glaube schon. Ja, das war bis jetzt eigentlich immer so.
That would have given them like 2-3 seconds, I guess.
No tennis balls knocked off so far. Nicely done, but probably jinxed him.
Jetzt lasse ich sich drüber aus auf dem anderen Chat, wer der mit 13 oder mit 16 durch die Gegend fährt.
Erstmal besser machen sowas.
Ja gut, wäre am Führerschein. Bei uns in Deutschland kannst du sogar mit 14 mit Sondergenehmigung und ich glaube, ich kann es nicht garantieren, aber ich glaube mit 14 Sondergenehmigung und bei Bestand eines Landwirtschafts, wo gefährdet ist, mit 14 einen Führerschein machen.
Richtig, wenn es zum Beispiel ein kleiner Familienbetrieb ist, dann können die den Sondergenehmigung erlangen. Ja.
No, well, you can... I mean, I just tried to see what
ist natürlich doof, sobald die einen Angestellten haben, geht das nicht mehr, aber wenn es rein nur die Firma macht, dann geht das.
Ich schau irgendwas, warte, da gab es mal eine Regelung. Ich bin gleich mal wieder da, ich muss kurz wohin.
Also ich finde das Landschaftstool finde ich sehr cool, vor allem, dass man jetzt auch mal Schritte zurückgehen kann, ohne wieder alles neu anfangen zu müssen, wenn man sich mal verbaut hat. Das finde ich sehr cool. Ich fand es schön, dass man die Zäune machen kann. Auch mit Mechanismus, dass man es gleich öffnen kann mit dem Tor. Finde ich auch sehr nice. Kannst du auch Weiten machen.
Okay.
Finde ich nicht schlecht.
You might remember Stark, by the way.
Das Einzige, was mich, also es hat mich nicht gestört, möchte ich jetzt nicht sagen, aber es halt sehr ungewohnt ist, dass unten zwar alles angeordnet ist, aber es nimmt schon ein Viertel vom Platz des Bildschirms ein. Aber wenn du das alte gewohnt bist und damit gearbeitet hast, hast du halt einfach den Platz am Bildschirm gehabt. Da ist halt gut, da siehst du, was du haben möchtest. Das ist schon gleich praktisch, hast du alles daheim. Und du kannst schnell umschalten zwischen Modding-Tool, den Landschaftsbau-Tool und die Gebäude-Tool halt da drin. Das ist schon nicht schlecht.
Fun there in the background. You can see them all smiling. The Valtra team is just standing there, watching them, going, yep, it's hard.
Also vom ganzen Interface kann man eigentlich sagen, schaut es sehr, sehr stimmig aus.
So, these bells weren't as nice as the other ones. They're twisted. Look at this.
Gibt es auch so ein automatisches GPS-Tool?
Ja, die machen es jetzt auch andersrum. Die laden mit dem Monitor ab.
Ja, dann haben die wahrscheinlich das auswählen können.
Yeah, we won't give them many
Maschinen auswählen.
I'm not sure if style points are even a thing here. I guess not.
They aren't, but
Grafik finde ich wirklich sehr ansprechend. Wenn man die Ingame-Szenen gesehen hatte, dass gerade bei den Scheibenecken zum Beispiel oder Gruppern, dass du jetzt so unterschiedliche Texturen und sowas hast. Für mich praktisch als Farbenblinder, ich habe ein bisschen mehr von den Gülle-Texturen gesehen, wo ich so allgemein immer diese Probleme habe, damit ich überhaupt was erkenne. Gerade wenn es jetzt eine Unterflurdüngung ist, war für mich für den Arsch. Und was war noch? Auch so die 3D-Textur, dass das mehr 3D-Dimensional schaut schon wirklich wunderbar aus, muss man echt sagen. Aber das ist genau das, was dann den Modern für die Karten und sowas nicht gerade einfach macht. Vor allem, wenn sie dann eigene Sachen mit reinbringen wollen und die dann so anmuten, weil dieses Oculus-Ding ist auf mehrere Schichten aufgebaut. Das heißt, du brauchst für ein Muster, ein Bild, ein Template, brauchst du mehrere, damit du diese Tiefen herstellen kannst. Ja. Bin ich König. Darum schauen bei mir auch ab und zu mal meine Let's Plays ein bisschen unterschiedlich aus von den Grafikeinstellungen.
It's obvious.
Es unterscheidet sich wirklich von Aufnahme zu Aufnahme. Also ich mache das ja nicht aus Absicht, um euch irgendwie dazu zu ärgern, sondern es ist einfach
so there we go. Yeah, there's a merch box with a cap and everything as well. So, nice things to win. Join in if you feel like it. The website might be German though, I don't know. Haven't checked.
Das liest du meistens dann unter die Kommentare, wenn sich da jemand beschwert, dass die Farben wieder so komisch ausschauen. Ja, selber.
Might be international as well. Super focused. I like that.
Ebenso ein schönes Wochenende, ihr Lieben. Menschenskinder, happy hoch die Hände, Wochenende. Stimmt ja, da war ja was.
And I don't think what he just did was good for the money too. You could hear the scratching.
I didn't pick up on that. I'm glad you did.
So...
Right, what's the time going to be here? You think they've been faster than everyone?
Yeah, I feel like they had a... Oh, look at this.
Ooh, he's got to get out quick.
He doesn't know how to use it. Run!
No. I think Krona are going to win this by just mere seconds.
Well, it depends on
like
the tennis balls, I guess.
Right, I guess they haven't been added in, have they?
I don't know. Let's see. So here we go. Valtra, total time 11:31. They hit 4 tennis balls. One bale wasn't exactly where it's supposed to be, and they didn't roll up the... Oh, there are style points. They didn't roll up the belts.
Oh, okay.
So 11:31 for Valtra. Krona, 4 tennis balls. One bale wasn't where it's supposed to be, and again...
Philipp,
they didn't do that as well.
Wir spielen jetzt gleich im Anschluss erst ETS und dann mal gucken, wie die Zeit reicht. Vielleicht noch ein bisschen Warhammer. Aber erstmal ein bisschen ETS, schön ein bisschen rumtackern. Schönen Konvoi-Modus.
So, 10:59 for Trelleborg. That means Trelleborg... Oh no, they all did that. They all made the belts nice, so they erased 3 penalty points.
Ich muss mal ultra früh raus.
Penalty points. Krona has 1 and Valtra has 2, and it's 15 seconds per penalty point. So that means Krona, just because they had a penalty point, because they lost by 13 seconds.
Wow, Krona were the fastest,
they were the fastest,
not the cleanest.
No, if they would have been cleaner, they would win. So.
Ja, die Charaktere die schauen definitiv anders aus. Also man hat es auch gesehen gehabt. Wenn du das gesehen hast, zum Beispiel auch von der Kleidung her, das war, da war zum Beispiel den einen Schlepper bei dem John Deere, war glaube ich einer drin mit blonden Haaren. In dem Video, wo dann dieser Glas-Satteldreck gefahren worden ist, der hat einen schönen Glas-Kombi an, hat aber anders ausgeschaut.
Check out the website
Also ich denke, dass das massiv mehr geworden ist.
Lars hat euch die ganze Zeit gesagt, es ist mehr, es ist zwar nicht so wie in einem Rollenspiel, aber ein gutes Mittel zwischen jetziger Stand und einem Rollenspiel. Sowas kann es anbieten.
In the coming weeks, we will release even more information about Farming Simulator 22 on our website and social media channels before the game's launch on November 22nd. And remember, we still have one map to show you, for example.
Ja, ich denke auch, das reicht.
Halt, stopp.
Make sure to follow us across the various social media platforms you use to stay up to date. And just like the last 2 days, you can continue chatting with us on the official Farming Simulator Discord server. Even after the stream ends, we'll be around for a bit longer today to answer your questions. But thank you for watching, stay safe and let the good times grow.
Okay, das war's.
Schade, wieder nichts für die andere Karte.
Ja, aber ich vermute wirklich mittlerweile entweder Spanisch oder Französisch. Oder halt wirklich, es gibt nur ein Land, wo Olive und Traube so nah wachsen. Italien.
Wäre auch möglich, aber obwohl.
Weil die Art und Weise, wie die Olive gepflanzt sind, oder die kleine Zuchtolive, das ist mehr italienisch. Das, was ihr da gesagt habt, bei eurem letzten Stream, diese große Olivebäume, wo die Netze unten dran kommen, das ist mehr griechisch und spanisch.
Wir müssen uns überraschen lassen.
Aber ich hasse Überraschungen.
Das werden dann wieder so Special-Videos werden, die wo wir dann wieder zeigen dürfen. Freunde.
Danke.
Ich muss dir auch was zeigen können. Lieben, jetzt muss ich erstmal eine Zusammenfassung machen, was alles da reingekommen ist. Das schneide ich morgen mal so ein bisschen zusammen. Mal gucken.
Guck lieber, dass wir morgen früh LS22 spielen können.
Oh. Schön wär's. Lass uns gleich anfangen. Warum warten?
Oh Mann.
Wäre schön wär's.
Oh.
So, ihr Lieben. Wollen wir ein bisschen LKW fahren? Ich schalte mal schnell um. Ich muss mal den Stream beenden. Ich komme aber gleich wieder. Wäre schön, wenn ihr wieder einschaltet, ihr Lieben. Würde uns sehr freuen. Ich bin gleich wieder zurück. Ich drücke hier mal ans Ende.
Und ich wünsche euch einen schönen Abend und ein schönes Wochenende.